Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Law Talk, a public service of the Southwest Louisiana Law Center and CBS Lake Charles. I'm Mark, the Director Jetson.
Jonathan Law Dog Fontenot from the marshes of Cameron Parish.
To the courtrooms of Calcasieu, this is Law Talk, answering your legal questions. So, today's topic, I got in an accident. I had an accident. What do I do? What do you do when you get in an accident?
Okay, first of all...
Or what do you not do?
Yeah, pay attention to what law enforcement is, because if you go to an attorney, they're going to ask you, because you're going to need that report.
We're pretty much talking about an automobile accident.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, not an accident like my grandchildren might have.
Or your older generation has.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
You want to be sure you know which law enforcement. It's usually city police, state troopers, or deputies. If you're in Lafayette.
Who's doing the investigation?
If it's in Lafayette, it's a big deal because you have to go online to get the police report. So pay attention. They'll give you a little card, but sometimes if you can tell your attorney which law enforcement agency do it, they can get it. They don't have to wait the time.
To get the accident report.
Right.
So it could be city police, it could be sheriff, it could be the
state trooper.
Yeah.
And sometimes the marshal does accident reports. What you don't want to do is talk to the adjuster of the other side. They'll call you sometimes. They pretend that they act like they just want a few facts to start their file, but they'll throw in a few inadvertent questions, acting like they want to know your well-being. How are you? Are you okay? And number one, your response is you're still filled with adrenaline. You don't know how you're going to hurt. People of your generation don't heal like they used to, you know.
Tell me about it.
So they want you to talk that first day, and you probably say I'm okay or not too bad. When 2-3 months you might need surgery. They're going to say, well, didn't you tell me at the scene you were fine, and now you're having.
It's very common for symptoms to show up days after some sort of trauma to the body.
After the adrenaline's worn off,
you may feel fine, and it's not a fraud thing. It's very, very common for most people to feel symptoms 3 or 4 or 5 days later. That's why you never want to settle until you know that you're completely done.
And be prepared. If you say I don't want to give a statement, they'll say why. Or if you say my lawyer told me not to, this. Well, who's your lawyer? And you say don't call us, we'll call you. You don't have to give them a name attorney. Just let them know that I'm not to give you a statement, because you can't unsay anything you say. So just be aware. Wait for that call, and when they say hi, I'm so and so from so and so at insurance. You may not even want to talk to your own insurance at first, because make sure the other person doesn't have insurance. If they don't have insurance, then your insured becomes the adverse party, the other side. And not paying you becomes not their job.
Suddenly they become motivated to act like you're the guy that hits his insurance company.
In the meantime, while you're waiting on that police report, check your policy to see if you have a rental, because if your car is towed and they tow it somewhere and find out it's undrivable, you need to know if you're going to have to front the cost of a rental, or at least your policy may give you some supplement toward. So want to check your policy before you get that wreck, actually, and see if you have to pay out of pocket all of a rental, because some of them you don't get it back. Some of them you pay, you get it reimbursed. Some of them cut you a check right there and you get a rental, because parts are on back order. Your car may be 4 months in the shop, and who can afford 4 months of a rental? That gets really in the thousands and thousands of dollars. So see what policy you have, may consider adding that.
You can only borrow your spouse's car for so long if you've got a spouse who has a car.
If you don't have uninsured motorists, get it. It is so worth it. It's worth a few extra dollars, because nowadays just a couple of MRIs and ultrasounds and you've blown through your whole policy, because underinsured means uninsured and underinsured. So if there's not enough money for the other guy to pay for all your procedures and surgeries and therapies, your uninsured motorist will kick in. So
the underinsured or uninsured motorist coverage, it's a special coverage available on automobile policies. They'll provide additional coverage if I need it, if the person that hit me doesn't have adequate
or has no insurance, or just doesn't have quite enough.
Now when I'm buying an automobile insurance policy, the seller of the insurance, they got to make me aware of that. Is that right?
Well, if you choose not to, they have to make it very clear to you. But
I have to reject it in writing.
Yeah, and I think there has to be a separate page for it. But you want to ask to make sure you get some. You don't have to have a ton, but the more the better, of the uninsured motorists. So that's just a few notes. Make sure you know the agency. Make sure you get the police report. And if you have to go to an attorney, but don't say anything to the adjuster. Tell him you'll call him when you're gathered your thoughts and with permission of an attorney. So.
Do I need to take pictures if I got a phone with me?
It doesn't hurt. Now, sometimes it's okay to talk to the property insurance adjuster because the attorneys let you handle that on your own.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to take a third of your repair bill. And the property adjuster is a lot different than the medical treatment adjuster. So you can do those things. So if you want to take pictures, that's your prerogative. Of course, the shop that you take it to should take pictures as well. And you can go to a shop of your choice. Mm-hmm. The insurance will have their choice, but you're not bound by that. So anyway, just be aware that you don't want to speak to the adjuster, and you do want to take pictures of your injury. If there's something evident like bruises and anything swollen, something like that, because and also people wonder, should I take the ambulance? Not if it's not necessary, don't take the ambulance, but you do want to get treatment, because it doesn't matter how much you hurt, how much your friends know you hurt. The only thing the adjuster says, were you hurt? Yes. Where did you get treatment? I didn't. Well, then you weren't hurt. That's the way it goes. So you want to get treatment.
Sounds like you've dealt with this before.
Yeah, I have friends that are in the military that think it's tough to not get treatment. And when the adjuster goes to cut a check, they say, "When did you go to the doctor?" "I haven't." They put the pin down. You get no money. You have to seek treatment if you're injured. You prove to no one how brave and tough you are if you can't cover your medical bills. So just be aware.
Okay, so in summation.
And also be aware of that QR code if you have any other
Right,
questions.
before we get to the QR code, summing it up. So if I'm in an automobile accident, make note of what law enforcement agency is doing the investigation, because that's going to help my lawyer get the police report or the accident report faster.
And now the accident report contains their insurance information,
Right.
which you can find out if it's valid.
Okay.
Sometimes they have a card, but their insurance expired.
All right.
Yeah.
Number 2, don't talk to
Speaketh
the...
not to the insurance adjuster of the other side.
Couldn't have said it, or couldn't have not said it better
You couldn't
myself.
speaketh better yourself.
And then go to the doctor if I'm hurt, and wait 3 or 4 or 5, wait several days before you determine if you have injuries or not.
Soft tissue or something really.
Because it takes a while for the injuries to manifest.
Right.
Wow. And get underinsured or uninsured motorist insurance.
Just the minimum if you
gotta have it. The other thing you got to do is go to the QR code right here. Go to the QR code. It'll take you to our website, and you can type in your legal questions. That's how we know how to ask these questions. We're inviting the public to send your legal questions to Law Talk, so the Law Dog can tell you all the answers to your legal questions.
All the answers.
And sometimes we may be able to throw in an answer or two.
They're oftentimes wrong answers, but they are all the answers.
But you're going to get an answer one way or the other. Well, this has been another edition of Law Talk. For Jonathan the Law Dog Fontenot, I'm Mark the Director Judson. And again, thank you for tuning into Law Talk, a public service of the Southwest Louisiana Law Center and CBS Lake Charles.